Katrina here. Let's get into creating this pearl and chevron wire ring. The wire that we are going to be using to create this ring is a 22 gauge gold-plated copper wire, and then to create the band of the ring we will be using an 18 gauge wire that is solid brass. I also have a file here as well as two different types of ring mandrels, and we'll also need some sort of bead to add onto the ring. For the pliers we have a pair of nylon jaw, wire cutters, chain nose pliers, and also round nose pliers. To begin, I'm going to use the nylon jaw pliers to straighten out a piece of 18 gauge wire that is 4 or 5 inches long. Then I'm going to file off each end. Using a pair of pliers or your fingers as I am here, we're going to create a bend in the middle of the wire. Bringing both ends of the wire together to create a sharp angle, this is the beginning of our chevron. You can create this angle to be sharper or less defined if you would like. Placing the tip of that angle into the nylon jaw pliers, we are then going to slightly bend the wire over. We need to create this bend in the wire so that when we wrap the wire onto the ring mandrel, the design will lay flat. Placing the wire onto the ring mandrel, we will now size and shape the ring. Holding the wire firmly on the ring mandrel at the size we want, we will then bend both ends of the wire around the ring mandrel, bringing the ends around so that they cross. With the wire cutters, we are then going to cut off the excess wire. Lining up with the center point of the chevron, we are going to clip off the wire so the ends meet flush. 18 gauge is a heavier size of wire, so it may be easier to cut them one at a time. With our file, I'm just going to quickly smooth down both ends of wire. There might be a gap showing here, but we can simply bend that back in place and then check on the ring mandrel to be sure that it is the right size. Grabbing that 22 gauge wire, we are now going to use it to create a wrapping that will cover and hide the ends of the wire on the band of the ring. We are going to place that wire through the ring and give ourselves about 2 to 3 inches to work with. Then we are going to begin tightly wrapping that wire onto the band of the ring, pressing the wire together as we wrap it up towards the gap in the ring. When that wrapping comes close to the joint in the ring, we are gently going to work the wrapping across both ends of wire so that they are inside of the spiral. Using the chain nose pliers to help tighten the wrapping on the band of the ring. Gently but firmly holding the wire, we can slightly twist the wrapping with the pliers to tighten it onto the ring. After we have secured the wrap onto the ring, we are then going to use the pliers to press the whole wrap together from end to end. Using the wire cutters, we will trim off the excess wire close to the band of the ring. Using the chain nose pliers again, we will secure that end of wire against the ring. Now we are going to take our 22 gauge wire and attach it onto the ring. Holding the wire tightly against the ring, we will take a 1/2 inch of wire and begin wrapping that around the band of the ring on one side of the chevron shape. As we wrap the wire around the ring, we will use the chain nose pliers to help tighten down that wire and press the wrap together. Having secured one end of the wire onto the ring, we are going to use our wire cutters and clip off the extra wire, leaving a length of wire that is long enough for us to add our bead onto and then secure the wire onto the other side of the ring. Center the bead into the point of the chevron and then hold it tightly as you begin wrapping that short end of wire around the ring and securing the bead onto the ring. Wrap this wire so that it matches the other side of the ring. Using the chain nose pliers again to secure and tighten down that wrap onto the ring. When this wrapping matches the length on the other side of the ring, we will cut off any excess wire and finish securing the end of wire with our chain nose pliers. Then, smoothing out any rough edges with the file, we have completed the ring. I hope you enjoyed creating this ring. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.